Imagine this: you wake to find your mind a vast, echoing chamber where every whispered thought resonates like a confession in the half-light of dawn. Your reflection in the mirror feels strangely far and eyes wide, pupils dilated, as if you've glimpsed something too raw to bear. You've spent your life curating a polished persona, but in that silent moment you sense an undercurrent of forbidden ideas, doubts, desires, fears you've tirelessly shunned. How can the same mind that composes sonnets and solves equations also conjure nightmares of inadequacy and despair? This contradiction gnaws at your sense of mastery. If your mind is your greatest ally, why does it sometimes feel like a treacherous prison? Beneath every deliberate choice lurks a shadow of doubt-bitten thoughts threatening to upend your carefully constructed reality. Freud named them defense mechanisms. Jung called them the shadow. In evolutionary terms, these mental shields once protected you from internal chaos. Today, they conspire against your awareness, turning survival tools into self-sabotage. Carl Jung insisted that the shadow contains disowned impulses, anger, envy, forbidden fantasies that conflict with your ideal self. When these stir, you deploy denial and projection, blaming others for traits you refuse to own. Friedrich Nietzsche exposed the paradox that moral certainties often mask deeper drives. Every "I would never do that" fuels the very impulse you deny. Arthur Schopenhauer saw the mind's will as an insatiable force. To suppress it is to tighten its grip. Aldous Huxley warned of technological distractions that lure you into superficiality, preventing you from confronting your inner turmoil. Jean-Paul Sartre named this flight from truth bad faith, the cowardice of self-deception. Viktor Frankl, forged in suffering, taught that meaning blossoms only when you face your darkest experiences. All these insights converge on a single point: you fear your own thoughts because they threaten the identity you've cultivated. These hidden fears don't stay buried, they shape your reality in ways you scarcely notice. In quiet cafes, an intrusive thought, "What if my life has no meaning?" triggers a frantic scroll through social media until the question vanishes. At home, silence feels oppressive, so you drown it in noise, podcasts, TV, ambient playlists. Neurologically, each act of avoidance strengthens inhibition pathways in your prefrontal cortex and weakens the brain's capacity for self-reflection. Chronic suppression rewires you toward rigidity, less creative, more anxious when unfamiliar thoughts surface. Cognitive biases compound this. Confirmation bias steers you toward comforting echo chambers, while availability bias makes dramatic headlines more compelling than nuanced truths about yourself. In relationships, you offer scripted responses, "I'm fine," to protect your hidden self, eroding trust and intimacy. Professionally, you avoid creative risks, silencing the very curiosity that drives innovation. Collectively, a society that prizes positivity over authenticity enacts no complaining policies, reinforcing personal avoidance and fueling political polarization. And spoken resentments get projected onto scapegoats, fanning the flames of social division. The chasm between your polished exterior and your turbulent inner world grows wider, threatening an emotional collapse you may not see coming. Yet awareness of these unseen consequences is your foothold on the cliff face of transformation. To break free, you must do the thing you've long avoided: welcome your thoughts as guests, not enemies. Start with cognitive diffusion. When a shameful idea surfaces, "I might fail, I feel contempt," oppose and label it. There is the fear of failure again. You're not your thoughts, you are the awareness that watches them. Practice radical mindfulness each morning. Sit with closed eyes for 5 minutes, letting thoughts drift like clouds without judgment. This simple ritual, rooted in Buddhist insight and popularized by Jon Kabat-Zinn, trains your mind to hold space for discomfort. Keep a shadow journal each evening. Record your most unsettling thoughts, then reflect on the needs or fears beneath them. On paper, your unconscious conspiracy becomes a conscious dialogue, and power shifts back to you. Draw strength from history's rebels of the psyche. Viktor Frankl, even in Nazi camps, chose meaning over despair by confronting his suffering head-on. Simone de Beauvoir defied social mores by embracing her complex desires, shaping existentialism herself. Their courage shows that true freedom begins with facing what terrifies you most. Translate intention into action by rewiring your neural circuitry. When an urge to avoid arises, choose a small, Value-driven acts speak an honest truth. Create art from fear. Volunteer for a cause. Each moment of defiance against avoidance rewires your brain toward resilience and authenticity. In that courageous space between fear and acceptance, a profound revelation awaits. You discover that the true prison was never your thoughts but your fear of them. Your mind is not a battleground to be conquered but a living tapestry woven from every thread, light and dark, sublime and grotesque. The impulses you've repressed contain the raw energy of creativity, courage, and compassion. When you embrace them, their power transforms from hidden threat into guiding force. Past struggles, once seen as self-sabotage, become invitations to wholeness. Standing at this threshold, paradox dissolves. The dichotomy of order and chaos gives way to a unified field of consciousness. You feel the heartbeat of your own becoming a rhythm pulsing with the full spectrum of experience. The scars of avoidance become pathways of insight. Every flicker of fear becomes a beacon guiding you toward deeper understanding. Your consciousness expands into a new reality where every thought, however unsettling, reminds you of your capacity for transformation. Now, carry this ultimate truth into your life. Let every anxious whisper point toward your hidden reservoir of power. In the interplay of light and shadow, you find not chaos but infinite potential. The journey towards self-mastery is not a linear conquest but a continuous dance of integration. Embrace your thoughts as messengers, not adversaries, and watch your life unfold with profound clarity and purpose. You are no longer a captive of your own mind, you are its fearless voyager.